Somewhere right now, a 71-year-old grandmother in Virginia is standing in front of a glowing machine inside a gas station, feeding $16,000 in cash into a slot because a man on the phone told her the sheriff was coming. That machine is a cryptocurrency kiosk, and what happened to her is happening to someone's parent, grandparent, or neighbor every single day across this country. Last August, that Virginia woman received a call from people posing as sheriff's deputies, threatening her with arrest if she didn't pay up immediately using a crypto ATM nearby. She complied, the money vanished into overseas exchanges within minutes, and the odds of recovering a single dollar were essentially zero. The FBI reported that crypto kiosk scams generated more than $333 million in losses in 2025 alone. And that number only reflects what was actually reported. Think about that. $333 million gone, laundered through machines sitting next to lottery tickets and beef jerky. Here's what makes this scheme so devastatingly effective. These kiosks are designed for speed, anonymity, and irreversibility, which is everything a fraudster needs and everything a victim's family dreads. Once that cash converts to crypto and hits an overseas exchange, it doesn't walk, it sprints. The people being targeted aren't naive or careless. They're 60 and older, and they account for 86% of known losses in these scams. These are people who built their lives trusting institutions like banks, law enforcement, and government. So when someone calls claiming to be a deputy, that trust becomes the weapon used against them. The playbook these scammers run is almost insultingly predictable once you see it. Impersonate a government official, create urgency and fear, isolate the victim from anyone who might intervene, and then direct them to a machine that feels legitimate because it's sitting inside a legitimate business. It's a confidence trick wearing a tech costume. And it works because fear short-circuits rational thinking in all of us, not just older adults. Now, here's the part where we have to talk about accountability. Because these kiosk operators aren't innocent bystanders. Some of them are being sued for it. Attorneys general in Iowa and Washington, D.C. have filed suit against major operators for allegedly facilitating fraud, arguing that these companies knowingly profited from transactions that had every hallmark of a scam. AARP and law enforcement advocates have been pushing hard for consumer protections. Daily transaction limits, mandatory fraud warning signage, operator licensing requirements, and printed receipts so victims have documentation. These aren't radical asks. They're the same kinds of guardrails we built around every other financial instrument that touch vulnerable people. 14 states passed crypto kiosk protection laws in 2025, bringing the total to 17. And early data from California and Connecticut suggest that transaction limits and warning signs are actually moving the needle. Vermont extended its moratorium on new kiosks entirely, and some cities have taken the most direct route possible and banned them outright. The historical lesson here is one we've seen cycle through every new financial technology. Innovation outpaces regulation. Bad actors rush into the gap. Victims accumulate, and eventually the public pressure forces lawmakers to act. We are currently somewhere in the middle of that cycle, which means the worst is probably not behind us yet, but the response is building. The misconception we need to kill right now is that people who fall for these scams simply weren't smart enough to know better. Scammers rehearse, iterate, and psychologically pressure their targets in real time, and they are very, very good at it. The shame belongs entirely to the fraudsters, and arguably to the operators who haven't done enough to stop them. If you want a practical takeaway, here it is. Talk to the older adults in your life specifically about crypto kiosks, not just online scams in general. Tell them that no real government agency, sheriff's department, or court will ever instruct them to pay a fine or fee through a cryptocurrency machine ever, under any circumstances, full stop. The broader strategy for protecting people isn't complicated. It's consistent public education, enforceable transaction limits, real operator accountability, and adequately funded helplines so local police actually have the investigative tools to pursue these cases. None of that is glamorous, but neither is watching someone lose their life savings to a machine in a convenience store. What's quietly hopeful in all of this is that the legislative momentum is real and accelerating. 17 states with laws, multiple attorneys general suing operators, And organizations like AARP applying sustained pressure means the environment for these scams is getting harder to operate in. The arc here is toward protection, even if it's moving slower than the harm. Discipline in this fight looks like consistent pressure on legislators, consistent conversations with vulnerable family members, and consistent support for the organizations building these guardrails, because the scammers aren't going to get bored and quit. Whether this specific threat peaks and fades or morphs into the next scheme, your preparation and awareness is what protects the people you love. And if you're looking to build real financial stability through smarter investments or homeownership instead of fear-based decisions, check out our links in the description below. We can help you get started with real estate investing, connect you with trusted contractors, and match you with the right lenders.